And guys, Isaiah, we talked a little bit about this, and I did Boston's game in Houston last week. I think Boston is a great organization. Number one, they have great coaching and leadership from Ainge to Stevens, but we've kind of hinted about this, and it seems as if either a player needs to step up and take leadership, not just in the locker room, but scoring, assertiveness, and because when you look at Jaylen Brown. He's played under 20 minutes in 2 of the last 4 games. He talks all the time about making a sacrifice, but it seems to me there's one thing to make a sacrifice and there's another thing not to be able to have an influence on your team. Do you think that the way things are going, Zeke, they're going to be able to keep these lineups? I mean, you look at the pay of a Gordon Hayward, 4 years, $128 million contract. How does this all start to play in? You have a lot of tools, a lot of assets you could trade. Do you need to trade it? I mean, what would you do as a former GM?
But if it keeps going this way over the next 2 weeks, I think you're going to have to make a trade to energize the team, to try to get something done, because right now they have a lot of pieces, but I don't know if they have too many pieces. And it seems like, being in a managerial position, sometimes when you give your coach too many options, then he has to please too many people.
Less is more.
So, yeah, wow. So it may be best that you give him 9 good players and 3 good practice players, as opposed to a roster so deep of 12. The other thing I fear about the Celtics is they haven't taken the traditional path of getting to the Eastern Conference Finals.
What do you mean by that, traditional path?
Well, when LeBron left, they basically was anointed.
Okay.
They were anointed.
They didn't
the
have
best
to earn
team
it
in the East. They didn't have to earn it. And by the way, Toronto hasn't earned it. No one has really earned it. So I feel like right now the Celtics are suffering from the burden of expectations of being anointed the Eastern Conference champs or the best team in the East without necessarily having to go through the rigors of learning how to be the best team in the East.
Now, you guys had to earn it, Kevin. And when you look at this team, being a former Celtic, a former GM and a player, how do you see this situation with so much talent? You've spoken before that maybe there has to be shakeup, not necessarily with trades, not to speak for you, but maybe with assertiveness. Since they've put Smart in the lineup to kind of play Kyrie off the ball, they played much better, gives them another defender. Is that enough, or do you share the sentiments of Zeke?
I think you got to give it a couple weeks right now, but I'm with you. You start getting around 40 games in this league, and if you haven't turned it around by 40 games, very seldom do you see a team in the 60th game of this year turn it around. They don't get enough penetration from me. They don't get in the paint enough. All threes are not created equal. And that's when the analytics people and I really part ways, because they're like every three is a good three. That's not true. You drive hard, get in the paint, kick that thing out, get the extra pass. There are really good threes. I think they take too many tough threes.
Yeah.
And, you can see Brad Stevens is a little bit defensive of that. Someone asked him a question about it, and he goes, we're going for great shots. And he was kind of took offense. They said you take too many threes. I think they got to drive more. I've seen teams now, you get to this point in the season, if you're a coach and you look around and say, I don't have a lot of great three-point shooters, I'm just not going to keep shooting them. I'm going to shoot less, but I'm going to shoot better threes. The way I'm going to shoot better threes is I'm going to get in the paint. I'm going to get to the foul line. I'm going to keep pushing off the dribble, because in today's rules with not touching anybody, getting in the paint's so much easier. They need to attack more. They settled for too many threes, and they have possessions where the ball just goes around the perimeter, never gets in the paint, and someone takes the three. So I'd like to see them. Yeah, Chris, I give it a little bit more time, but at a certain point, Danny is really patient in a lot of ways. But there comes a point when Danny says, we got to make a change. He'll make a change. And, and trading a few of those guys for maybe some picks and some role players. Sometimes you had a couple role players on your team. They come in, they don't want to do anything besides pass, move, play defense. Your whole offense clicks a lot more.
Yeah, it's almost like maybe he did too good of a job because you have talent. And if this was about 3 years from now, they'd be in the best position. But if by being this year, you can't wait to develop everyone. You kind of need some people to stand up right now. And on the other side, the Spurs have allowed 120 or more points 9 times this season. Last season, they allowed it 8 times total. With this team coming around now, They are number 1 this month in shooting from threes, number 3 in scoring offense. They're getting their mojo back. But is that enough, Kevin, or is this something where you think the great coaching of Pop has inspired his team, but it's going to be hard to keep it going with all the injuries they've sustained this year?
You know, they amaze me because when they were 11 and 14, I was writing those guys off for dead. I'd watch them play a couple games. Like you said, Chris, they gave up like 138 points in regulation. I'm thinking, man, what kind of stuff is this?
What Spurs team is right? Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Pops has the ability to over a 12-game stretch, they go 9-3. They just completely changed. They play much better defense. They're shooting the three, but again, when I watch them play, they're shooting quality threes.
Yeah.
They don't shoot a ton of them, but they're not taking the contested three. You know what shot that anybody takes now is that hard step back three. They don't take any of those. They just, they swing, and they take the open shot. Pops is pretty amazing. To get this team to play defense, because I've often said, if you have really big, your big guys are slow, it's hard to play defense in this league. Yeah. And Aldridge is slow. Gasol's not really playing anymore right now. But he's found a way with kind of Aldridge as a slower guy to be able to funnel things and play good defense. So hats off to them. Do I think they can continue to go? No, I don't believe in this team. I really don't. I mean,
way to be honest. This is going to 19 honest, baby.
They were 9-3, and that was smoke and mirrors, man. I think they'll be a 7th or 8th seed, maybe get in, but I'm not buying it.
I like the way Pop has kind of got everybody to play in the. I think the unspoken thing or the unacknowledged thing about Pop, I believe, is his player development. Mm-hmm. And when you look at San Antonio, their player development every year, somebody gets better. And I think what has happened over these last couple of weeks, collectively, players have continued to get better. Not drastically, but just small little increments in terms of shot selection, right? We ain't gonna take no bad shots.
Right.
And because we don't take bad shots and we take good shots, guess what? Our field goal percentage goes up higher. We look, it's a big difference when you go in the locker room and you say, oh, I'm shooting 39% or I'm shooting 49%. When you're shooting 49%, you feel a little bit more confident about yourself. Yep. Consequently, you work a little harder. So I think in terms of shot selection, pace, tempo, he's got them to play a certain way. And I think their player development staff has done a good job building a lot of these guys also.
One quick thing about player development, I'll go back a lot of years. How about how much improvement Tony Parker had from year 1 to 4? Manu Ginobili from year 1 to 4.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Kawhi Leonard from year 1 to 4. I mean, you look in our league, those three guys.
He may be one of the best in the business.
I agree. And you made a point that's really important. I think when the ball's going in the hole, you play better defense. I don't care what anybody says.
That's true.
And your chest gets, but you're ready to go.
Yeah.
You got to really be a kind of a gnarly old vet to miss 7 in a row and play better defense. We all did that at a certain point. When we got older, we were like, oh man, Mayo's not going.
Sit down.
As a younger player, you make a couple shots, you do play, you get more energy on the defensive end. So I give Pops a ton of credit, but as I said earlier, I'm not sure they can sustain this.
One of those players he's developed is Derek White, the rookie out of Colorado. And just look at this. He started 10 of the last 11 games, and the Spurs are 7-3 in those. And so for him to trust a rookie. First, he's been on his butt a lot in practice, and then that rookie has had to earn his trust. I'm sorry, second-year guy. And so he's had to earn that trust. So that's one of those guys you're talking about, Coach, being one of the best at player development.
And isn't the rookie, is it Walker? He's coming back shortly, right?
Off an injury.
Yeah, I think right now, and I'm excited. He's one of the rookies that I was excited to see play. Because I mean, you're talking about a freak athlete and someone who can do things out on the floor that most people can't do athletic-wise. If he's healthy enough to get back to that point, then, San Antonio's got them a jewel.
You add a really athletic guy to this team. That would help them a lot just because they have a lot of smart players, but sometimes you just need that crazy athletic guy. Getting back to Manu. Remember Manu? He'd make steals from positions that you should. He'd run all around the court. He'd guard everybody on one possession. You'd be like, this guy's completely out of control. He had so much energy. Sometimes you need one of those guys just to be a glue guy for you, come up with those steals, long arms, block shots, and it'll be interesting to see what they play like when he comes back.
Yeah, San Antonio losing one of those guys tonight. No Rudy Gay tonight. He's probably one of their most athletic.